Hi, Sagittarius. Welcome to your monthly reading for May 2025. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Laura, aka Baby Curl Tarot. I am a tarot reader, astrologer, and root worker. And I like to do monthly readings for all the zodiac signs here on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. So let's go ahead and get right into your reading. Keep in mind, this is a general message, so whatever comes up, comes up. All right, spiritual team, numinous astro deck. What messages do you have for the Sagittarius collective for May 2025? What messages do you have, for the Sagittarius collective for May 2025? What do we have? Sagittarius, you have been coming up in almost every single zodiac signs reading this month. So I think y'all are going to have a big moment in May. Y'all already know yourselves, but this is what this deck says about Sagittarius energy. You guys are enthusiastic, philosophical, independent, generous, ethical, happy-go-lucky, adventurous, honest, unbridled, lucky, traveling, risk-taking, and sometimes tactless and self-righteous. Woof. Next, we have Libra, aka the idealist. Okay, and Libra energy is harmonious, cooperative, balanced, socially aware, artistic, people-pleasing, fair, aesthetic, choosy, aspirational, graceful, considerate, indecisive, judgmental, and flattering. Okay. Next, we have the second house, which rules assets, material world possessions, finances, talents, values, your worthiness, your wardrobe, your luxuries, your credit score, your security, and aesthetics. And finally, at the bottom of the deck, we have Neptune, the planet of dreams. Okay. And Neptune also rules the imagination, memories, the subconscious, self-sacrificing, ideals, universal love, visions, meditation, spirituality, compassion, empathy, fantasies, escapism, the ether, enchantment, confusion, veils, and magic. It's a mouthful. Sorry. Also, I apologize for all the noise. There's a lot of construction happening in my complex. So I'm sorry in advance. Like, there's literally a tractor driving underneath my window. So sorry, guys. But you got a lot going on. So you got Sagittarius, you got Libra energy, you got the second house, and you got Neptune. Some of you guys may have Neptune in Sagittarius or Libra, or you may have Neptune in the second house, or your second house could be in Libra or Sagittarius. So this really has to do around, I think, financial security or physical security, or the way you value money, or the way you value yourself, possibly. Sagittarius and Libra energy could be coming up, because whenever I think of Sagittarius and Libras, I think of very confident people, especially Libras. They're very confident in terms of like their aesthetics, but also in terms of like what they value. They're very clear on that, and I feel like Sagittarius energy is also very clear on that. So I'm interested to see what comes up in your tarot cards in relation to these initial cards that we've pulled. All right, spiritual team, African Tarot, what messages do you have for the Sagittarius collective for May 2025? What messages do you have for the Sagittarius collective for May 2025? Okay, what do we got? Okay, we have the Seven of Swords reversed. All right, we have the Ten of Pentacles reversed. Okay, what else? We have the Seven of Cups reversed. We have the Ace of Cups, and we have Death in reverse. Very interesting. Some of you guys may have been struggling to let go of a certain sense of values or ethics that have been instilled with you from literal birth. We have the Ten of Pentacles reversed that came up. That usually talks to me about like ancestors, family tree, family wealth even. But for me, this is like just a set of morals and ethics and values that have been passed down from generation to generation. So this is heavily ingrained in you, I fear. This could also be related to money, financial security for you guys, or material possessions. I feel like a lot of you guys are kind of waking up or deciding that certain things just don't actually hold value for you. With the Seven of Cups and Seven of Swords reversed, it feels like you guys are finally realizing or letting go or shedding like these old values that your family like instilled in you at a very early age, and honestly probably up into adulthood until this very moment. But I feel like there was maybe some confusion or like insecurity about not wanting the same things that your family wants. Maybe it's like, the house with, two dogs and a picket fence. Like, you just don't care for that. Like, you'd rather live in a van, or you'd rather, go backpacking and live hostel to hostel. Like, I feel like it's just you're finally being honest with yourself and with other people that you just don't have the same set of wants, needs, or desires that, you know, everyone else has around you in your family. I feel like this was a really difficult realization or a difficult change as well, because I feel like this really affects your lifestyle and the way that you live physically. With the death card here in reverse, it feels like there's still moments where like you have knee-jerk reactions to things and you're like, oh, I need to do this, like with my money, or I need to save, or I need to um save up for something specific, or I need to have this specific item because it validates my self-worth or something like that. It's going to be different for everybody, so just take what resonates here. But yeah, ultimately I feel like either you guys are currently struggling with it, or you guys are coming out of that struggle and you're starting to find ways to work through it. But let's see what's at the bottom of the deck here. We have a lot of things in reverse. We have the World in reverse, we have the Lovers in reverse, we have the Two of Pentacles, the Nine of Wands reversed, and the Six of Cups reversed. Something tells me you guys are still working through this. There's just so much in reverse. There is so much in reverse. And I feel like this is affecting you in some way, like in other areas of your life, like your self-worth. Oh, some of you guys might rely on external validation a lot through either your material possessions or your finances, like what you're able to buy. That's what this Ace of Cups is. I feel like a lot of you guys rely on that external validation to make sure that you are doing well, or to make yourselves feel secure or feel worthy of love or acceptance. And that's not for all of you. That is for some of you, possibly. But that's what I'm getting from all these cards. Literally almost every single card on my table is in reverse except for two. So I feel like a lot of you may get the realization this month on how to really truly be happy and really truly step away from needing that external validation. We do have Pluto retrograde starting this month on May 4th. As I'm recording this, it's a couple days from now. By the time this video comes out, it's already started, and it will be retrograde until October. Now, Pluto retrograde is making a very long, drawn out aspect to Neptune, and we've already been feeling this since 2020, that particular energy, and we're going to be feeling it until about 2030 or 2037. I can't remember what year it ends, but it's a long drawn out, like we're going to be feeling this for another 5 to 7 years. We're going to be going through this lesson. So I feel like this is spirit kind of calling attention to this. This isn't going to be fixed overnight. This is going to be something you actively have to work at. This is something you actively have to take the rose-colored glasses off and really look at yourself and realize like what this is doing and how this is affecting you in other areas of your life. Because I feel like that self-worth can come into play in terms of your job, your career, where you choose to live, what you choose to drive, what you choose to invest in. And I think without this, if you decide to not change and continue to keep going down this path, you're going to find that there's a lot of things that keep either not progressing the way that you want them to, or the way that they should. Okay, take what resonates. But yeah, the longer you choose to ignore this or avoid this realization or this truth, the absolute harder it is going to be on you guys. And again, this is going to be different for all of you. But Neptune is literally the planet of deception. I call it the Great Deceiver. I think a lot of other people call it the Great Deceiver as well. So this is something that is completely, this is a blind spot for you. This is something that Spirit is trying to bring to your attention loud and clear. This is a tough one. This is a tough one. I mean, how do you tell somebody that like everything you thought was wrong? And again, it doesn't always have to be about money with the second house. It could be the way that you value yourself. And it can be very, very hard as someone who also used to have a hard time with external validation. And I'm still working through it in a lot of ways. I think a lot of people do struggle with this, but having that external validation sometimes just feels like a security blanket. And we can't get away from it. We're human, right? And normally I wouldn't necessarily associate Sagittariuses with needing external validation, but for a lot of you, I feel like that is something that you struggle with, whether you want to admit it or not. Yeah, this is a childhood wound. This is some deep inner child work that needs to be had. Unfortunately, this could come from neglect, abandonment from parents. This could come from neglect, abandonment by other types of caretakers, teachers, friends, whatever. Like this is a deep, deep wound that you got to definitely look at here, and come to terms with. And like I said, this is a long, drawn out journey. So you're going to be experiencing this for another 5 or so years. You're going to have themes or situations that pop up that constantly challenge you to look at yourself a different way and present yourself differently and be more secure in yourself without needing to do certain things or do things a certain way or say things, certain things, or identify with certain belief systems. Yeah, for the next few years. It's going to be coming up. It's going to be a consistent shift and change. So again, don't expect to change this overnight. If this is something you have been actively working on or like struggling with to understand, you're going to be dealing with this for quite some time. All right, that's just kind of what I'm getting from this poll. All right, Sagittarius, I'm going to go ahead and leave that there. A little bit more of like a niche one. I feel like more of you guys will identify with this than I'm hoping. Like, obviously, I hope not to see people going through things like this, but it is what it is. So yeah, just take what resonates and yeah, let me know if that resonates for you. I'd be really interested to know how that shows up for you in your life. I also know this is a little bit of a shorter reading, but if you want to see a longer reading in the middle of the month, I do a mid-month check-in for the top 3 signs that engage with my content. So leave a like, leave a comment. Let me know you want to see a longer reading in the next couple of weeks for your sign. And I do a love and a general message for those readings. I'm going to go ahead and close out the reading with a couple of oracle decks, and that'll be it. Spiritual Team, Monology Manifestation Oracle, what additional messages do you have for the Sagittarius Collective for May 2025? What additional messages do you have for the Sagittarius Collective for May 2025? What do we have? First quarter moon in Aries, step into your power, taking your power back. Okay. I really wish I was making this up, but yeah, like retaking your power back, like not relying on that external validation or those materials or finances to make you feel successful or worthy of love or affection or attention or whatever it is. Like, take your power back from that stuff. I think a lot of you guys don't really need it. It's hurting you probably more than you think in a lot of ways. So yeah. What else? New moon in Capricorn. Step up and lead. I feel like a lot of you guys are breaking generational trauma or cycles here. because the 10 of Pentacles in reverse showed up. So this could end up affecting other people in your family, to take a look at the way they approach these things and maybe help someone else, okay? Or your future children if you want to have a family of your own. What else? We have last quarter moon in Pisces, talk less and feel more. Yeah, so like before you react to things that would normally trigger you to react a certain way or say something specific or buy something specific, really sit with that feeling and think about, why am I reacting this way? Why do I feel like I need to do this specific action or say this specific thing? Why do I feel the need to do this? How is this conducive to my overall benefit? Do I need to say this because I feel secure, or do I need someone to validate that I am successful and secure? Okay. Finally, at the bottom of the deck, it says full moon in Aquarius, be real. Sorry. Yeah, I mean, the first step is being honest with ourselves, right? So I feel like there are going to be situations popping up this month that are going to kind of hold up a mirror and show you where this is showing up in your life, for those of you that are resonating with this, okay? Let's see, final deck of the reading. Spiritual team, daily crystal inspiration. What final messages do you have for the Sagittarius collective for May 2025? What final messages do you have for the Sagittarius collective for May 2025? Let's see. Alrighty, we've got adventuring, create your own luck. Wow. Okay. So for those of you where you struggle with like self-worth, oh no, this leaf blower, don't you do it. Get away from my window. If that leaf blower starts playing, I'm probably gonna have to pause, but looks like they're going away. All right, so we have adventuring, create your own luck. I feel like for those of you that struggle with self-worth, you may not feel worthy in a lot of ways, like you don't deserve certain opportunities or things. And I think this is Spirit's way of saying how you can break that chain or that belief system and create your own opportunities and luck. Sorry, that damn leaf blower. Okay, so we have Garnet, ignite your passion. Yeah, do what it is that actually sparks joy in your soul. Because I feel like a lot of you guys feel like you have to have a certain job or a certain income to make you feel successful or to make you feel fulfilled. But I feel like some of you guys would actually prefer doing something completely different or living in a completely different way. Does that make sense? Like, I think it translates to your material and physical world. Maybe you guys want to be artists and you guys are stuck in a corporate job and you're like, but how can I survive off of an artist's salary? And you're like, oh, you can survive. It's just not going to be in a 5-bedroom house. You know, to start, maybe. Who knows? You never know. Bottom of the deck, we have Iolite, shift your money mindset. I really wish I was making this up. I'm done. That's all that needs to be said. This is literally shifting how you view money, how you view income, your career, whatever. For some of you, this is career related. This is money related. For others of you, I think this is more self-worth and valuing yourself, and external validation. Two different groups of people, but very similar in a lot of ways. All right, Sagittarius, that is what I'm seeing for you guys. Please leave a like, leave a comment. Sorry about that, guys. I had maintenance come through, but again, just thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to see my other content on Instagram and TikTok, you can find my handle below in the description box. Thank you guys so much for watching again. Stay safe, healthy, and blessed, and I hope to see you guys next time. Bye.